Can you hear me? We are Career Time Media. We are. All right, Black Cat Nation, welcome back to another wonderful season. We know what season that is. It is time for Black Cat football once again. I'd like to welcome our guest tonight here at Joe's Fridays with Career Time Media. Not just head coach, Coach Now, but now athletic director, Coach Now. Welcome and congratulations on getting that position with the Mexia Black Cats.
Thank you.
And we also have your offense and defense coaches here tonight. Coach Damian Shaw.
Bob's?
Why did I say Shaw? Every time I think it was a guy that I work with at work, used to work with at work. Coach Hobbs, I apologize, and Coach Eric Davis. Welcome, fellas. Coach, now let's start off with how the season has started, which take us back to summer workouts and spring football training. How did that go?
Really, you go back to right after the Monday after Gilmer. That's when we went and got in the weight room and kind of saw where we were at as far as from a strength standpoint, and knew we had to get better in that area and committed to the weight room starting back in that little 3-week window right before we broke for Christmas break. And then when we came out of Christmas break, we started boot camp. We went boot camp January to about mid-February, and really continued to push the weight room and track, and then sometime in April, discussion started about hiring the strength coach, and Coach Emery came on board May 2nd, and he kind of hung around for a week and observed and watched kids and kind of see what we were about, and he took over full-time on May 9th, and the results have been unbelievable. That momentum took us right into summer strength and conditioning, and then that carried right over into fall camp and continues to today. his addition was probably the biggest part of the offseason. If you look at our kids now compared to what we look like in the weight room before he got here, not only just the strength numbers and the weight on the bar and that sort of stuff, but just the way our kids look physically, the way they move, the confidence with which they do those things, his addition's been really huge.
Awesome. Going back to our last 2 practice games that we had, it's always good to be able to have those pre-seasons before the non-district game starts, which y'all did play 2 powerhouses in the La Vega Pirates and Gilmer. After those 2 scrimmages, what have you seen so far that your offense and defense can improve on going throughout the season, getting ready for district play?
You know, in the first scrimmage, we knew Nate wasn't going to be live as far as quarterback and run game, and so you know you kind of go into that a little bit different. It was all controlled for the most part. We did a live half, but it was running clock, and you know didn't have any special teams involved in it really, anything like that. So you know the game plan's a little different when you're not planning on running the quarterback. The plan going into La Vega was we were going to do a simulated game, and then we get in the JV part, which was scripted. We go, I don't know, about an hour lightning delay, something like that. Like, I don't know, the clock just kept resetting, and then we finally get back to try to finish up the JV portion, and then comes the downpour, and so Coach Hyde was like, hey, like we had planned on doing a simulated game, and it's like, hey, I don't know that we get anything out of this. Let's just go back to kind of a traditional controlled scrimmage. You know, the main thing for me as the head coach is that we came out of both of those healthy. You know, we win against great opponents, really good competition, but you know, in that you don't want to come out, you don't want to lose somebody in a scrimmage. You know, and so we're rolling into Friday night at Conley full strength, and that's the biggest thing, you know, especially at this level with the numbers that we have and depth situation and stuff like that. You know, we're fully healthy right now.
And Coach Hobbs and Coach Davis, I'm gonna ask y'all this question. After those 2 scrimmages were completed, how did y'all keep y'all's size of the ball, your players, focused on understanding that this is why we have these games to see what we need to work on and what we could be better at? How were y'all's size of the ball? How did they take losing? We know it was a scrimmage game, but to these kids, a game is a game. You always want to come out the winner. But how was their confidence level after playing against Gilmer and then La Vega?
Their confidence level after playing Grandview, I mean, it was fine. Like, they know, like, we keep it pretty simple in the scrimmage. Both scrimmages, we kept it really simple from an offense standpoint. I'll let Coach Davis talk about the defense, but we kept it really simple on offense. The main thing for us was just being, just focusing on the details, like the little things from the scrimmage, and that's what we really harped on in film. Like, it's a scrimmage, so the scoreboard is a scoreboard, but it's all about cleaning up on technique and taking the right steps and having your eyes in the right spot, receivers running the routes to the right depth, just being physical in every aspect of the game, and that's really what I took from the scrimmages and what I relayed to the kids as well. It wasn't really about the opponent, it was really about us.
Defensively, I think it's kind of like the same thing. Maybe we seen on film where if you mess up, like, you pay for it. So we watch that all the time. If we're in the right spot, then we got a chance to make a play. As far as our game plan, it was kind of, it was simple as well. So it wasn't a lot going in, but it was good to see it live against a pretty good team. So we know, like, if we're in the right spot, we got a chance. If not, bad things happen.
It's probably about the most vanilla we'll ever be on defense. I mean, it was, hey, there's one call. Like, game plan simple, see ball, hit ball, you know.
Now, looking at your 2 scrimmage games and looking at your non-district games, which I'm not making it light going into district play once it begins against Groesbeck Goats, but we see that there's no easy road going into district play, which your first team that y'all come up against, the Colony Cadets, which they went 4-6 last year, but have always showed that they can be competitive and continue to run the clock and run the ball on any football team that shows up for them. What has been y'all's game plan going in to practice this week, which the football guys have blessed us with a little bit cooler weather, especially on that hot turf? But what has y'all's game plan been going up against the Conley Cadets on Friday night?
I think if you look at both teams, we're really similar as far as from a size standpoint. We're probably the same across the board. Both of us are big quarterback run game teams, and I think that's what it comes down to is which defense is going to be able to contain the other team's quarterback. He's going to for Connolly, that kid's going to turn around and play defense. He's an Oklahoma State commit, go play defense there. It sounds weird that, hey, you want to keep a quarterback in the pocket and let him throw, but he's going to hurt you more with his legs and with his arm, and it is what it is, and they're going to find ways to try to get him involved, and I would imagine early. For us, it's be able to play 11 on 11 and get 11 hats to the ball, and it comes down to it's eye discipline and effort. And one thing our kids have proven is they'll play hard. We just got to do it with our eyes in the right spot.
Coach Hobbs?
Offensively, play fast. I mean, I'm not want to go into a lot of details of what exactly we're going to do, but really just play fast and impose our will on offense as far as the quarterback run game and taking our shots and hitting our shots early, because they are really good on defense, I believe. They're good up front. They're good on the back end. And I think they got a really good opportunity to play complementary football. Obviously, everybody knows the Kobe Black, the corner that they have. A pretty high-rated guy, but, it's just going at him. Not shying away from anything. And like you said, it is a fight early these first couple games, but, I mean, it is what it is.
Coach Davis?
I just think defensively, as long as we run and get 11 hats to the ball and wrap up, that puts us in a good position. Everything else will kind of sort itself out. We got 11 guys running, and we're in a better position.
And one thing that I will say that I respect is y'all's schedule. I like going in and seeing the Black Cats not face teams that might be down that next year. Kind of like, you see these college football teams, they'll schedule 2 or 3 games against Division II schools or whatever. But Bahia's schedule to start off is very powerful. You've got Conley, then you've got Franklin, then you got China Springs, and you got Gatesville. I know Gatesville isn't at the caliber as those other 3 schools are, but Gatesville has always shown that they're going to show up and play their corn-fed boys that they have down there, and they're always going to give you a tough game. Tell me what you feel that your Black Cats are going to be able to take out of this non-district schedule, getting ready for district play, which I'm not downplaying division. The 3A ball that Maha's playing at now, because it's still a tough district. But I've always said you play these hard teams at the beginning of the district to get ready to try to dominate district. So, I don't know, I guess my question would be, what do you feel these boys should take out of these first 4 games that they're going to come into with these first 4 teams that they play before district play starts with Rosebank?
From a program standpoint, if we want to build this program to where we want to, then those are the teams you're playing in December. And so why not go play them early and see how you measure up, we played those guys by design. It wasn't like, that's who we wanted to play.
Right. And
for a reason. From all the Grandview scrimmage came together last year during the season. The Franklin game came together on realignment day. China Spring, originally we were going to play Malakoff in that slot, and we knew there was a chance that we'd be in the same district with Malakoff, and so I talked to China Spring. They were going through a head coaching change at that point, and they had 1 game on their schedule. And I said, if it comes out that us and Malacroft are in the same district, because at that time we were full. I said, if we're in the same district, I said, put it down in Penn, we'll play it. And then we started looking for a week one. And Coach Garrett called and it was, hey, it was close for both of us, and it's good competition, and neither one of us had to go drive 2 or 3 hours to go try to find a game. Coach Hyde had trouble finding people to play them. He called he had multiple openings, and I said, I got a second scrimmage open, and so that's kind of how that came together. But if we want to be where we want to be as a program, then let's go play those guys, because that's who we're trying to be. You know what I mean? And so go play them early and see where you're at, and things work out, we'll play them late.
And I agree with you 100%. I think if you're going to play with the best, then you've got to line up against them on Friday nights. And that's what I respect about y'all scheduling with this season alone. I looked at it, I was like, wow, they're going to go up against some good competition. But the thing about the Mexia Black Cats is Mexia Black Cats has returned a lot of starters from last year, and a lot of people that were on the varsity team last year who got that experience, that game time experience.
Right.
What has the experience that the kids from last year brought to the team this year? What have you seen kind of spread out amongst the leadership roles on offense and defense sides of the ball?
Well, I think last year, I know Coach Hobbs got here before I did last year, and so they were able to teach some stuff in the spring. But just like the teaching part of fall camp wasn't all brand new on either side of the ball. I think Coach Davis took over on the defensive side about week 4 last year, so there wasn't as much. It wasn't as much new verbiage and just stuff like that to kids. Not saying it was old hat by any means, because we're still coaching it, but there was a little bit of familiarity there, and so there was somewhat of a comfort level there, and it just kind of, instead of starting necessarily maybe at the first step, maybe now you're on step 2, step 3, as you're going into your installs and fall camp and that sort of stuff. It's kind of how I view it. I don't know, I'll let both you guys touch on that too.
Yeah, I mean, like from an offensive standpoint, during the season, like last year, since we got here, late in a sense, we were still teaching during the season a lot. So going in from having a little time in the spring and being able to teach on the whiteboard a little bit, because we don't get a real spring ball, but being able to teach on the whiteboard, and then the kids showing up in the summer really helped a lot too. So, like you said, you're not starting out day one and from like zero. We really, from an offensive standpoint, we're kind of ahead of the curve, kind of like really ahead of the curve at where we were last year, and it helps out a lot.
And I think defensively it's the same thing. I mean, just those guys seeing it, knowing it, hearing it from the first year to the second year. Obviously, you're gonna be more in tune to what's going on. So them guys coming back, and then just as far as the lead aspect goes, I mean, it's guys showing up being leaders pretty much all over the field. So that pretty much helps everywhere.
Sorry, y'all, I got to catch my throat. Coach Davis and Coach Hobbs, I want to thank y'all tonight for joining us for our first week of the Coaches Show, and many more to come for the rest of the year.
Yes, sir.
Y'all don't forget, Friday night, Mexia Sports Network and Greer Time Media will bring your Mexia Black Cats against the Conley Cadets over at Mac People Stadium Friday night at 7:30. If you can't make it, they're live to root the kids on. Feel free to go on YouTube and watch the game and give your support there. Once again, coaches, I want to thank you very much. And as we always like to say at the end of the show, go Black Cats.
We are Career Time Media. We offer an array of video production services for corporate, commercial, and entertainment clients with We are Greer Time Media. We offer an array of video production services for corporate, commercial, and entertainment clients within the Tri-County area. We nurture our clients' initial idea through all the stages of development and production to final delivery. Greer Time Media Management Team has a world class of experts in the videography industry. This enables us to provide a number of premium production services, including sport highlights, Sweet 15s and 16s, weddings, live event coverage, community news, exhibitions, and any other special event that wants to be captured. If you've got a product to launch, an image to build, a vision to share, or a story to tell, give us a call or visit our website today.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall. Tonight's game is sponsored by Mexia Sports Network, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Woodman Life, Subway, Joe Fridays, Elizabeth C. Ferrari Realtor, and Big Drip Fashion Hall. You're listening to Mexia Sports Network. Tonight's game is brought to you by Greer Time Media, Posey Napa Auto Park, Greer and Greer Mobile Detail, Mookie's Mesquite Patch Barbecue, Woodman Life Insurance, and Joe Fridays.
You're listening to Black Cat Football and Greer Time Media. Let's take it to the booth with your host, Freddie Greer Sr.
All right, and welcome tonight to our Week 1 prediction show here for Greer Time Media and the Head Sports Network. I'm Wallace High, accompanied by Denora Sandals, James Deichler, and Vance Rose. We're going to hop on into our predictions for this week. It'll be the first week of the 2022 football season here in the state of Texas. So we don't have much to go on here to start off. It's that week where everybody still has the dreams of staying undefeated and going on and winning a state championship. So as usual, we're going to start with our lower classifications, or our smaller schools rather, not lower, but smaller schools. Down in our 1A division, for many of you older ones, it's our 6-man football. And just over here in our area, we have a couple schools that play in this division, and we're going to talk about them tonight. Starting off with a game that'll have Abbott taking on Blum. Vance, who do you have in that one?
I'm going to take Abbott.
I'm going with Abbott as well.
I'm going Abbott.
I circled Abbott on my paper as well, so it looks like we're all in agreement on that one. Our next game in 1A is our neighbors right down the road, the Coolidge Yellow Jackets, will be taking on Jonesboro. Who you got in that one, Vance?
I'm going to take Coolidge Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I almost took Jonesboro on this one, but I am going with the Coolidge Yellow Jackets.
I'm also going with the Yellow Jackets.
But I'm going to be the different one in this one. I don't know much about what Coolidge is bringing back this year, and I don't have any clue what Jonesboro has. But we are going to be keeping up with our scores this year, and I think that I may try to pick a few to get a leg up on you guys. I went with Jonesboro this week. I know I probably won't get much love from all my people in Coolidge when they see me. But,
Throw rocks at you next time.
right. Then we'll have Aquila taking on Covington. Vance?
I'm going to go with Aquila.
I'm going with the Aquila as well.
I'm also going with Aquila.
And I'm going to jump back in on the train and go with Aquila also. Then we're going to bring up our friends over in Penelope, or for those that don't know how to say it, they say Penelope. As they're taking on Oglesby. Who you got, Vance?
I'm going to take Penelope.
Penelope.
I'm going to roll with Oglesby on this one.
Oh, okay.
I'm also with Vance, as he say, Penelope.
And I'm going with the friends from Penelope in this one. I'm not sure what Oglesby has, so I'm going to go with the ones that I know. Our last 1A game that we have on our picks this week has Golson taking on Copperal.
I'm going to go with Capel.
I'm going with Copper L as well.
I'm going with Ghost.
Oh, I went with Copperal, so Dino might be going with
Let me
getting
get one
a
up
leg
this
on everybody if Golson can pull it out over there. Moving on down to our 2A ranks, it'll bring up some pretty good games over here in our area from some teams that are been pretty big powerhouses in that ranking, in that division over the past years. Starting with one of the big dogs in Mart as they go up to take on Chisholm.
I'm going to take Martin. Just a wild guess now.
Yeah, I think I marked by 30.
I got the Panthers.
We say it every time, and I don't think anything has changed this year. It don't take a smart man to know that you don't pick against the Panthers.
Sure don't. They reload.
And I
they
think
don't rebuild.
I think, for them, they made it all the way to the state semifinals last year, and they feel like that was a disappointing season because they didn't win the state championship. And I think they're going to be angry and upset and ready to make up for that as they'll come in to this season. I think they're pretty young over there, but, I mean, when you have a tradition like that, like Dino said, they just reload. They don't have to rebuild. So I think they'll start off the year strong. Then we go to our neighbors right down the road, about 5 minutes. The Wortham Bulldogs is they're going to go over and take on the Kearns Bobcats.
I'm gonna take Wortham.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Wortham as well. I like what Coker's doing over there with the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'm
and how
also
he's
got
building the
Wortham.
program.
And I'm going Wortham as well. Yeah, like James was saying.
Clean sweep.
Yeah, we all got it on. We all have the same thing on our papers. Coach Coker's doing a good job over in Wortham. They're coming off a great season for them last year as they believe they made it about 3 or 4 rounds deep in the playoffs.
Got beat by Mark.
Yeah, and ran back into their district nemesis in Mart and were knocked out of the playoffs by them. And I think they're just going to build off of that season and start off strong again this year as well.
They got some big boys at Wortham too.
Yeah, they
Sure do.
Next we have Heiko taking on Bruceville Eddie.
I'm gonna take Bruceville Eddie.
I'm gonna go with Heiko on this one.
I'm going Bruceville Eddie.
I'm going Bruceville Eddie on it as well. I don't know. I don't know much about either team, but I know where Bruceville Eddie is. I know where Heiko is too, and Bruceville's just a little bit closer. So, you flip a coin on that one.
It's in Rocks again.
Yeah. James is trying to catch one on us on this one, as he's the only one that was different with us on this pick. Looking down the sheet, we have Dawson taking on Rio Vista.
I'm gonna take Dawson.
I'm going Rio Vista on this one.
I'm also going Rio Vista.
Again, I have no idea what's in Rio Vista.
I don't either.
And Dawson is right down the road. So I went with my geographical favorites in this one, and I picked Dawson in this matchup.
Do y'all know who's at Dawson, the head coach? Jimmy Thompson.
Wasn't he from Crockett?
He left Crockett, went to Dawson.
Yeah, went to Dawson.
It's his second year.
Then we'll just move right next door from Dawson to Hubbard as they take on Granger.
I'm gonna take Granger.
I'm going with Granger as well.
I'm also going with Granger.
And I went with Granger also, and we all agree on that one. Then we'll go down the road to Meridian as they take on Itasca.
I'm gonna take Itasca.
Yeah, I'm going to take Itasca too.
I'm going Meridian.
Oh, Dino with the difference.
Yeah.
I went Itasca, so you may get you one on this one,
He done
Dino.
flipped his coin.
Yeah, I just flipped it.
Yeah, just flipped it.
It landed straight up.
Then we have Frost taking on Bartlett.
Bartlett.
Yeah, Bartlett.
Yeah, Bartlett.
I went with Bartlett also. It's not cold enough for the polar bears. So I'm going to go with Bartlett. Before we move into 3A and into our district where we have a lot of interest, there's some big games around the state this week starting off, and if you really didn't know, you may overlook them, but in every rank, there's some pretty good games that we wanted to hit on. This being one of probably the biggest games in the state, with South Oak Cliff taking on Duncanville.
I'm gonna take Duncanville.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Duncanville.
I'm going South Oak Cliff.
I'm going South Oak Cliff also. I know it's another one of those coin flips. You really can't go wrong with either one of those teams now. Sock is building something special up there. I'm going to roll with them. Duncanville, they're the perennial powerhouse.
Yeah.
They're the bigger school. They're in the 6A division. Sock is in the 5A division. Both of them coming off of state championship appearances last year. Of course, South Oak Cliff was able to win it all in the 5A division last year, and Duncanville was runner-ups. But I think it's going to be a clash of some Titans in that game this week. Looking over just a couple other interdivisional matchups, the Robinson Rockets will be taking on Waco University.
That ought to be a good,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Waco University.
I don't know. They're going to be the odd one of the bunch. I'm going to go with Robinson Rockets.
Well, you're not the odd one. I'm going with Robinson, too.
This one was a tough one for me. I'm going to go with University. Just seeing some of the athletes over at University, I think they're going to have a little more speed than what Robinson has, and I really think that'll probably be the biggest difference in that game. Looking down, another matchup between two teams that were playing at Jerry World last year for state championships, and both of these teams won state championships last year and are from the Central Texas area, as the Lorena Leopards take on the China Spring Cougars.
Ooh, that's a
I'm gonna
hard
go
one.
Lorena.
Not in this is week one.
Week
One.
3A champion,
Where they
4A
playing
champion.
at?
They're playing at
In
China,
China
Spring.
Spring. In China
They're
Spring.
playing China Spring. I'm still going Lorena.
You gonna go Lorena?
I'm going China.
Yeah.
I'm going China.
Ooh, I'm going China Spring just because I know Lorena lost a lot on that offensive line.
Yeah.
They're still gonna be.
They still gonna be good,
They'll
but
have
that
a lot of
offensive
their
line they
skill players.
rebuilding
Yeah.
on that offensive line. So I'm going China Spring off of that.
Yeah.
At Lorena, they'll tinker with their offense
Yeah.
until district comes around, and then he'll have everybody set where he
Oh
wants.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Coach Biles he's who he is for a reason, and he's got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and he'll figure it all out by the time it really counts.
That's right.
But I'm like Dino, I'm gonna go with China Spring, just knowing what both teams have and what they're bringing back. China Spring lost a quarterback that was definitely a playmaker last year, but then they got a move in this year.
The quarterback.
Who is
Oh, is that right? They got to move in?
A
yeah,
four-star.
he's rated as a 4-star on some rankings, and
Well, where'd he move
heralded moved in from
He a coach's
Wimberley.
son.
Yeah, his dad had joined the coaching staff
Is he
at
the
China
offensive
Spring.
coordinator?
I believe so. And he'll be behind center for the Cougars this year.
Well, can I change mine?
Can you change yours?
No, I'm still on Lorena. I'm still on Lorena.
Either way, I think that's going to be a real good game.
I'm gonna keep my eye on that one.
Even though Lorena's 3A, China Spring moved up to 4A D1 this year.
They sure did.
To big school 4A, but I think that'll be a big game.
And they're in there with Stephenville too, right?
Oh
Yeah.
They're in the same district.
They're in the same
And
district,
Stephenville
Stephenville and
won
La
last year,
Vega.
4A Division I last
Yeah,
year.
China Spring, Stephenville, La Vega, they're all in that same district.
Powerhouse district.
That's gonna be a tough district.
Very
You'll probably have 3 or 4 teams make the playoffs in that district that can have a real chance of winning the state championship.
You're right.
Moving on down into our district as we move into 8-3A. We didn't go into a whole lot of 3A schools for our picks this week, and we know it's week 1, so we pretty much just stayed with our district. So starting off, we'll have Malakoff taking on West Rusk.
I'm going with Malakoff. That's kind of like going with Mart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malakoff for the win.
I'm going West Rusk.
Oh.
I know Malakoff lost a lot, and West Rusk was real good last year. So I'm going out. West Rusk was.
I know Rusk was pretty
No,
good.
West Rusk was, and they was real good in 3A last year.
Oh, okay. Well, I circled Malakoff on my paper. Dino makes me think I might have circled the wrong one. I don't know much about West Rusk.
And I saw him today on Texas football. They were talking.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, Dino researched his people.
Yeah, you know, I got something heard.
Yeah.
Like Stephen A.
But I know, no matter what, Malakoff's gonna be. They're gonna be solid. They have a good program over there, and I think it may be a pretty good game. I'll be interested to see how that one turns out. Next up, we'll skip down to Fairfield as they take on Rusk.
I'm going to go with Russ.
I'm going Rusk as well.
I'm going Rusk too.
And I went with Rusk as well. That's the Rusk that I did know of how they did last year.
See,
Yeah,
West
and they were
Rusk is not in Rusk.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
It's West.
I thought it was last year, and I was like, Rusk got 2 scores.
No. Tig is taking on Rockdale.
I'm going to go with Rockdale.
I'm going Rockdale as well.
I'm going Rockdale.
And I'm going Rockdale also. We've seen what Rockdale puts out on the field
And Tig
quite
young.
often. Tig is very young. I do think they're taking strides in the right direction.
Yes, they are.
But Rockdale has been a pretty good program that's made deep playoff runs over the past several years, and I think there'll be a little bit too much for the Lions this week. Next up, we'll have Eustis taking on Farmersville.
And I'm going to take Farmersville.
I'm going Farmersville as well.
I'm going Farmersville.
And I went Farmersville as well. Not sure what they have, but I guess we'll find out. Kemp will be taking on Westwood.
We'll take Westwood.
Westwood.
I'm going Kemp.
Oh, Dino might get one. I went Westwood. I saw. I don't know how both football teams will look this year. I did get a chance to see some of the athletes from Westwood last year at the track meet. They had some pretty good speed, size, and athletic kids, and that's all I can go on right now. So we'll see. And then we'll go back up to
Groesbeck Caldwell.
the Groesbeck Goats versus the Caldwell Hornets, right?
Yeah, they're the Hornets.
Tell us, Freddie. Tell us.
Freddie, you know you always get to get the first prediction on this game. They're playing Caldwell. Is your mic on? We want to make sure everybody can hear you.
I'm going with Groesbeck. 40-0.
Oh. Make sure you turn your mic off now. Freddie has already started
40-0.
with the blowout predictions. Vance.
I'm going to take Groesbeck.
Going Groesbeck as well.
I'm going Caldwell.
I went with Groesbeck. I'm not going to say it'll be 40-0.
Nope.
However, we know Freddie is very optimistic of his hometown. Although we know that he is a Black Hat now. He still has love for his goats. And I do hope that they do well this week. Dino might get another game on us.
Yeah.
It won't hurt my feelings either. But we'll see. And finally, rounding out our high school pick'ems this week, we have the Mexia Black Cats taking on the Connolly Cadets.
I'm going to go with Black Cats all the way.
Oh, let's see where this one goes. You know, we got the Connolly alum.
This is a Collie fellow over here.
I'm going to tell you this. My hair's going to show up Mac People Stadium.
Look, he even wore his blue.
With a Mexia hat.
Hey, I had a meeting with Judge Casciati. Conley going to give them everything that they ask for when they show up Friday night. Conley's going to score, go ahead, touchdown with a minute 59 seconds left. But they're going to kick themselves in the butt because they gave Mexia too much time. And Mexia is going to take that last minute 59 seconds and score the winning drive, winning it 26-24.
What's score? 26-24?
26-24.
Oh, 24? Oh, okay.
We either missed a lot of extra points or somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, you know I like the safeties, man.
Woo. I'm going Mexia. I'm going Mexia all the way.
There you go.
It ain't going to be 26-24. I got 35-17.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
It wouldn't be right for a Black Cat to pick anybody but Mexia.
Got to.
Much love for my cadet peoples over in let me make sure I tell y'all the right thing. They are not in Waco. They are in Lacey Lakeview. The Lacey Lakeview Connolly Cadets.
They're in the Waco-plex area.
The Waco Metroplex.
I have much love for them. This game splits my home, so but we root for the Black Cats. So I'm going with Mexia in this one, and I think it'll be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm in the same situation. It splits my home too.
We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back as we go into our NFL section after this quick sponsor break. right, and we're back with in the NFL section of our prediction show this week. We won't have any college predictions because the college season has not started. So there are not any NCAA games this week for us to choose from. So we'll hop right over into the NFL as they're still in preseason, but they give us some games to watch. And if you love football, you'll watch the preseason games just as you watch all the rest of them. And get to see some of those guys that are fighting to make a roster spot on most of the teams. So starting off, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm going with Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Green Bay Packers.
I went with the Packers also. Next up, we'll have San Francisco versus Houston.
I'm going with San Francisco.
I'm going with the Niners as well.
Houston 2-0. I'm going San Francisco.
You sounded real shocked about
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. Who they got over
It's
there?
preseason.
Yeah, it's preseason.
It's preseason.
Preseason.
I'm going with the 49ers as well. The Buffalo Bills will be taking on the Carolina Panthers.
I'm going to go with Buffalo.
I'm going Buffalo as well.
I'm going Buffalo.
I have Buffalo on mine as well. The Los Angeles Chargers will be taking on the Saints of New Orleans.
Los Angeles Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers for the first win.
I'm going with the Saints.
Oh, of course you are.
Well, one of them will have to get their first win of preseason.
I know.
The only thing is, it doesn't matter what your preseason record is.
At all.
Right.
But I am going with the Chargers in this one. Then it brings us up to the New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm going with Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, apparently the Raiders, third and fourth strings, fourth, fifth strings are pretty good. Because they're 3-0, so I'm going with the Raiders.
I'm also going with the Raiders.
I'm trying to figure out how they're 3-0. If they play in the Hall of Fame game?
They played the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, so they got an extra.
Yeah, they got an extra game under their belt. Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders also. Jacksonville takes on Atlanta.
I'm going with Atlanta.
I'm going
What?
Jacksonville.
I'm going to go Jacksonville, too.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I thought about a lot. I went with Atlanta on it, but I can see it going either way. It just depends on how much these teams are going to play their starters and how much, what backups they're going to play and all that and how long. Moving down to the LA Rams versus Cincinnati, a rematch of the Super Bowl.
I'm going to take Cincinnati.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going Cincinnati.
I went with the Rams. I don't know if we're going to see much.
No.
Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey or
Might not see them at all.
yeah, and you might not see anybody from the Bengals, Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase or any of them. So it'll be a lot of backups playing in that one more than likely. The Chicago Bears are taking on the Cleveland Browns.
I'm going to go with Chicago.
Okay. I didn't pick it. I'm going Chicago.
I'm going Cleveland.
I circled Cleveland on my paper as well. The Arizona Cardinals taking on the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going to go with Arizona.
I'm going Tennessee.
I'm going Arizona.
And I have Arizona as well. Yeah, I doubt you're going to see Derrick Henry touch the ball at all that game.
no.
So I
Mariners not touching it.
yeah,
He'll be in street clothes.
yeah. He's going to have on the nice little NFL sweat gear. On
He'll
the
wave a
side.
towel. He'll wave the towel around.
Yeah, he'll look good on the sideline, but he's not going to be out there in that backfield this game. Next up, we'll have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Miami Dolphins.
I'm going to take Philadelphia.
I'm going Dolphins because I can't stand the Eagles.
I'm with you, James. I can't stand the Eagles, so I'm going with the Dolphins, my own self.
Yeah, I didn't really want to pick this game at all myself. I did circle Philly. Yeah, but I don't know how either one of them going to look. So I'm going with Philadelphia. Then we have the Washington. They actually have a name this year. They're not the football team anymore. They're the Commanders.
Commanders.
Well, the Commanders going to get beat by Baltimore.
Fans already let us know he's got Baltimore picked in this one. What about you, James?
Quote the Ravens, nevermore.
I'm also got Baltimore.
And I circle Baltimore as well. I don't think we're going to see Lamar Jackson, and I don't think it's going to matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so next up we have Tampa Bay taking on Indianapolis.
I'm going with Tampa Bay.
I'm going to Indy.
I'm going with Indy.
And I circled Indy as well. Yeah, you're not gonna get the TB12 factor in this game. So,
Nope.
yeah, I don't think Tampa Bay is gonna really care too much about the outcome. Minnesota is taking on Denver.
I'm gonna take Denver.
I'm going Denver.
I'm going Minnesota.
Oh, I went Denver in this one. The New York Giants versus the New York Jets. And maybe the only time that we can say that both teams are undefeated playing each other.
And I'm gonna take the Giants.
Where are they playing at? Are they playing
In New York.
or New Jersey?
In New York.
I'm going with the Jets.
I'm going with the Jets.
Oh, I went with the Giants in this one. I actually watched a little bit of their game the other night, and their backups didn't look too bad. So, we have Detroit taking on Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
I'm going Pitt.
I'm going Detroit.
Oh,
Since they on Hard Knocks.
Oh, they're on Hard
Yeah,
Knocks.
they're on Hard
You've been
Knocks.
watching it on Hard Knocks.
Take
Kind of
Detroit.
proud
Yeah,
over
I
there,
gotta-
wasn't it? Detroit.
I need to catch up on my Hard Knocks. I circled Pittsburgh though. We'll see how that turns out. And then the game that I know we're all interested in, even though it's preseason, will be the Dallas Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Come on, Dallas.
Let me tell you a little story. Saturday, I sat down. 8 o'clock. Watch that Cowboy game. It was 7 or 8, whatever time. Was not on TV. Until I realized I was in Missouri trying to watch the Cowboy game. So I'm holding the cell phone like this, watching that game. But I'm going with my Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Well, you know it wouldn't be anything other than the Dallas Cowboys on my sheet. So that wraps up our NFL portion of our pick'ems this week. We will be back, or we'll be on air this Friday night from Mac Peoples Stadium over in Lacey Lakeview, Texas, the Wacoplex, as James put it, as the Mexia Black Cats will be traveling to take on the Connolly Cadets, and we'll be bringing you that game 7 o'clock p.m. So we'll be on air just shortly before the game starts with our pregame discussion and show leading up to kickoff. Then we'll be back on next Wednesday for our coaches show and prediction show as we get set for the following week. If you're not doing anything, you can tune in and catch us on Mexia Sports Network. On YouTube, you can type in Mexia Sports Network, search for it as part of SHN Sports, or you can find us on Facebook through Greer Time Media. The link for the game will be there for you to click into, and it'll take you to the YouTube page where the game will be streamed. As always, we're hoping for a great season for our Black Cats. We're behind them and supporting them in each way that we can. And as we wrap up, we always like to leave on a